Here's a screenshot from Yashar Ali showing dozens of world leaders and presidents and prime ministers and ambassadors quickly asserting their support for Ukraine, as well as acknowledging objective reality that Russia was the aggressor in this war, something that used to be standard practice in America until the Kremlin talking points came down, and suddenly, this is what the chicken shit Republicans devolved into.
Mr. Feinberg, did Russia invade Ukraine?
Well, going to my behind closed doors statement a second ago, I'll just say this.
They moved tanks and troops and armored personnel carriers across the Ukrainian border. It's a pretty simple question.
Yeah. Well, here's how, if I may, I'd like to
If
say,
you would ask the chairman of this committee if Russia invaded Ukraine, I'm pretty sure, the Republican chairman, I'm pretty sure I would know the answer.
Man, talk about courage. You know, I know the GOP loves to wave around their patriotism and masturbate all over the flag to convince themselves that they're the real Americans out there. But we used to have men and women who did put their lives on the line to defend freedom in the world. We used to have men and women who did sacrifice everything to land on the beaches of Normandy because fascism was on the rise. Compare that with today's GOP. These people can't even acknowledge objective reality that Russia invaded Ukraine. Not a political statement, just a statement of pure fact. The notion that these Republicans know the first thing about patriotism is a joke. All I can say is thank fucking God these people weren't in charge of the US in the 1940s. And by the way, here's one lawmaker who is perfectly willing to call that out.
It is time for us to say, Mr. President, guess what? Russia invaded Ukraine. Can we at least agree on that one? Facts matter. Y'all, this is literally potentially putting us into an international crisis. We may be heading towards the next world war because we have a president that wants to pal around with Putin and wants to do everything to make him feel good, including lying about who invaded who. Mr. Chair, I got a minute left, but I really want to yield to any of my colleagues and ask them if they will say today, very basically, that when it came down to the war in Ukraine, that it was not Ukraine that invaded Russia, it was the other way around. Is there anybody in here that has enough courage to say that Russia invaded Ukraine?
You can have my time.
And this is yet the problem.
So look,